A moose with red thread. Bottle. Lighter. A mouse with red thread. Oh, yes. Gregory knows the way of mice and rats. Mother. A mouse with red thread. Gregory knows the way of mice and rats. Gregory knows, and Gregory has his own thread. My name is Mr. Pete. We are about to start chapter 15, called Light, and you are about to have to deal with that accent, because, why not? Despereaux is passed out. He's in the middle of a dungeon, and the chapter is called Light. From darkness to light. Seems like a theme. Where's the light coming from? Is it from that rat that we heard? Was it a rat that we heard? Let's find out. When Despereaux awoke, he was cupped in the large calloused hand of a human, and he was staring into the fire of one match, and beyond the match, there was a large dark eye looking directly at him. A mouse with red thread? Boomed the voice. Oh, yes. Gregory knows the way of mice and rats. Gregory knows, and Gregory has his own thread, mocking him. See here, mouse. And the match was held to the candle, and the candle sputtered to life, and Despereaux saw that there was a rope tied around the man's ankle. Here's the difference between us. Gregory's rope saves him, and your thread will be the death of you. Irony. So Gregory's rope is tied around his ankle. Why will that save him? Why is that something that saves him? The man blew the candle out, and the darkness descended, and the man's hand closed more tightly around Despereaux, and Despereaux felt his beleaguered heart start up a crazy rhythm of fear. Highlight beleaguered, it means scared's not quite right. Beleaguered means it's just like bad things keep happening to it, and it's struggling to kind of keep up with all that. Well, that is a weird definition, but I'm sure the definition that I just put there is way better than the one I just gave you. Who are you? He whispered. The answer to that question, Mouse, is Gregory. You were talking to Gregory the jailer, who has been buried here, keeping watch over this dungeon for decades, for centuries, for eons, for eternity. You are talking to Gregory the jailer, who, in the richest of ironies, is nothing but a prisoner here himself. Oh, said Despereaux. May I get down, Gregory? The mouse wants to know if Gregory the jailer will let him go. Listen to Gregory, Mouse. You do not want to be let go. Here, in this dungeon, you are in the treacherous dark heart of the world. Hyperbole. Dark, highlight that. Metaphor, comparing the dungeon to like the dark heart of the world, a heart. And if Gregory was to release you, the twistings and turnings and dead ends and false doorways of this place would swallow you for all of eternity. So, highlight eternity, that means forever. Highlight treacherous, that's a vocabulary word. That means like you're in a scary place. And personification, because the dungeon can't swallow people, not like people can. Only Gregory and the rats can find their way through this maze. The rats because they know, because the way of it mirrors their own dark hearts. Highlight dark again. Rats, dark. And Gregory because the rope is forever tied to his ankle to guide him back to the beginning. So the rope helps him find his place. Gregory would like to let you go, but you would only beg him to take you up again. The rats are coming for you, you see. They are? Listen, said Gregory. You can hear their tails dragging through the muck and filth. You can hear them filing their nails and teeth. They are coming for you. They are coming to take you apart, piece by piece. Despereaux listened, and he was quite certain that he heard the nails and teeth of the rats, the sound of sharp things being made sharper still. They will strip all the fur from your flesh and all the flesh from your bones. When they are done with you, there will be nothing left except red thread. Red thread and bones. Gregory has seen it many times, the tragic end of a mouse. But I need to live, said Despereaux. I can't die. You cannot die. Ah, that is lovely. He says he cannot die. Gregory closed his hand more tightly around Despereaux. And why would that be, Mouse? Why is it that you cannot die? Because I'm in love. I love somebody, and it is my duty to serve her. Love, said Gregory. Love, awk you. I will show you the twisted results of love. Another match was struck. The candle was lit again, and Gregory held it up so that its flame illuminated, highlight, another word for light, a massive, towering, teetering pile of spoons and kettles and soup bowls. Look on that, Mouse, said Gregory. That is a monument to the foolishness of love. What is it? Asked Despereaux. He stared at the great tower that reached up, up, up into the blackness. What it looks like. Spoons, bowls, kettles, all of them gathered here is hot evidence of the pain of loving a living thing. The king loved the queen, and the queen died. This monstrosity, this junk heap, is the result of love. I don't understand, said Despereaux. And you will not understand until you lose what you love. But enough about love, said Gregory. He blew out the candle. We'll talk instead about your life and how Gregory will save it, if you so desire. Why would you save me? Despereaux asked. Have you saved any of the other mice? Never, said Gregory. Not one. Why would you save me then? Because you, Mouse, can tell Gregory a story. Stories are light. Light is precious in a world so dark. Begin at the beginning. Tell Gregory a story. Make some light. And because Despereaux wanted very much to live, he said, Once upon a time. Yes, said Gregory happily. He raised his hand higher and then higher still, until Despereaux's whiskers brushed against his leathery, time-worn ear. Go on, Mouse, said Gregory. Tell Gregory a story. And it was in this way that Despereaux became the only mouse sent to the dungeon whom the rats did not reduce to a pile of bones and a piece of red thread. It was in this way that Despereaux was saved. Reader, if you don't mind, that is where we will leave our small mouse for now, in the dark of the dungeon, in the hand of an old jailer, telling a story to save himself. It is time for us to turn our attention elsewhere, time for us, reader, to speak of rats, and of one rat in particular. End of the first book. Some foreshadowing there. We know that Despereaux doesn't die in the dungeon. We know that there is a rat, one specifically we are going to learn about. Our first book is over, and we head to our second book, the second, Chiaroscuro. I wonder what that means. Can't tell you that now, though. So we are left with Despereaux, away from his family, meeting Gregory. Gosh, that accent is so bad, but I love doing it. And we head to Chiaroscuro. Wonder what that means. We'll find out soon. Thank you so much for joining me and putting up with my horrible accents and putting up with my voices. Thank you so much. And click that like button, click subscribe, leave comments. Help me out. Tell a friend. Let's get us to 1,000. And I will see you on the next page, in the next book. Adieu. Farewell. Peace.